19 countries grow more food than their people need to eat, and still cannot feed their children. India is the starkest of them. A real food surplus, and the most malnourished children on Earth. 22.2 million wasted children. 38% of every wasted child on the planet. So I went looking for why, and found that 4 of the most common explanations don't survive contact with the data. 987,000 records. 5 public sources. 165 countries. This is the Hunger Atlas. This is the site itself. It opens on the contradiction: India grows more food than it needs, and still has the most malnourished children anywhere. Below that, a glossary explaining every unit, because most people have never met the phrase percentage points. Then the globe. 165 countries, colored by child wasting. The darker the red, the worse it is. India is the darkest country on the map. First finding. There are 2 kinds of malnourished child, and almost everyone treats them as one. Stunting is chronic, too short for your age, built up over years. Wasting is acute, too thin for your height, and dangerous right now. I tested the same for drivers against both. They gave completely different answers. Income and sanitation reduce stunting, strongly. Against wasting, neither does anything at all. And food production, the answer everyone reaches for first, correlates -0.028 with child wasting. That is, effectively, 0. Adding it to the model actually makes the model worse. Here's the country panel. Every figure carries the year it was measured, and a warning when a survey is getting old. India's is from 2020, and the site says so rather than hiding it. The trend chart uses survey years only. Nothing interpolated, nothing invented. Below it, the same country benchmarked against its regional median and the world median, so you can see instantly whether a number is bad, or just normal for where it is. So what does drive wasting? The data kept pointing at one place. The mother. Anemia in pregnancy, and low birth weight, both significant at p less than 0.001. And once you add them, income's coefficient falls to 0.123, at a p-value of 0.8. Not weak. Nothing. And it doesn't stop at one generation. Every link in this chain holds. An undernourished girl becomes an undernourished mother, delivers a small baby, and that baby becomes a wasted child. Click any country and the whole page rebuilds around it. The globe stops, flies there, zooms in proportional to the country's size. Here's China, 1.9% child wasting, against India's 18.7%. Same continent. Every chart underneath has switched too, and the model check tells you whether that country is doing better or worse than its own circumstances predict. Here's the test that convinced me it isn't poverty. Bangladesh is poorer than India, and does far better. Rwanda is poorer still, and does better than almost everyone. I compared the countries beating their predicted wasting against those falling short, across 15 characteristics. 13 showed no significant difference. Only anemia in women did. Then a completely separate dataset said the same thing. 495,000 monthly food prices. In India, cereal prices barely move across the year because the state procures them. Vegetables swing 56%. So in the lean season a poor family can still afford rice and cannot afford vegetables. They get calories. They don't get nutrition. It works for every country, not just the ones I built it around. Brazil. Peru. The globe recolors by 9 different indicators: wasting, stunting, anemia, birth weight, mortality, income. And every chart carries a written conclusion underneath it, generated from that country's own numbers, so you are never left staring at a graph wondering what it was supposed to tell you. All of it is reproducible. 5 public APIs, fetched programmatically. 9 documented data quality problems, including one where World Bank region names carry trailing whitespace and silently broke every grouping until I caught it. A SQL Server star schema. And 6 automated test suites that run on every build. But the point was never the pipeline. It was this. You can compare anything. 2 countries, 2 continents, or a continent against a single country. Here it's Russia against China. It builds the table, marks the better value on every row, and shows the world median beside them for scale. Then it writes an actual verdict. It notices, on its own, that Russia is richer than China and still has more child wasting, and says so. And there's an AI trained on the project's own findings, running on Llama 3.3. Ask it to compare Asia and Europe, and it pulls the real regional coefficients, including the South Asia wasting penalty of 2.88 percentage points. Ask what techniques were used, and it lists them from the knowledge base, the regressions, the clustering, the SQL window functions. It's instructed never to invent a statistic. Ask it something outside the data, and it will tell you it doesn't know. 6 things follow from all this. The first is the hardest. Stop treating hunger as a production problem. Target women before pregnancy, rather than children after birth. And separate stunting policy from wasting policy, because they are not the same disease. We keep treating hunger as a food problem. The data says it's a mother's problem, and we've been solving the wrong one. Everything's linked below.